Yo, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Gridiron Drive. My name is Anthony Correnti, joined as always by my co-host Peter Traina. We're recording this ahead of the Week 8 slate of games. Got a nice 15-20-minute episode for you today. Going to dive into the current top 10 NFL draft picture. Some teams have underperformed, see who's currently slated to be picking in the top 10. We'll talk about whether or not we think those teams are going to be sticking there. Get into a couple of the games that we think are some of the marquee matchups for this week. The Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. And, of course, Pete's got some gambling picks to make for a couple games on this week's slate. Hopefully make us a couple bucks. So whether you're here for draft insights, game analysis, betting tips, we've got you covered. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if you've got any other games that you like. Play some bets on this week, or let us know if your team's currently picking in the top 10. Ours are. All right. So let us know if you're in the same boat or if you're a fan of a good team. Must be nice.
Must be
indeed. All right. Let's start with some early draft talk. You could tell we're fans of some underperforming teams when you start talking NFL draft before Halloween. That's always it's a reality that's come too often as of late. The current top 10 for the NFL draft: the New England Patriots picking number 1, Carolina number 2, the Cleveland Browns, you love to see it, picking number 3, Tennessee Titans number 4, my New York Jets number 5, you don't love to see it, the New Orleans Saints number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars number 7, the Las Vegas Raiders at number 8, Pete's New York Football Giants at number 9, and the Miami Dolphins at number 10. As currently constructed, Pete, do you think most of these teams stick in the top 10?
I think there's a good case for at least 8 of these teams to stick. I think the Dolphins will get some wins. They'll probably fall somewhere in the middle. I don't think they're a playoff team, but I think they'll get some wins. And I could see the Jaguars getting a couple late wins. Again, I don't think they're a playoff team, but I don't think they'll be in the top 10. I think all these teams are kind of like meshed together. They have like a lot of the same win totals, right? Yeah, there's a lot of 2 and 5 teams. Yeah, 2 and 5.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The top 3 teams are 1 and 6. Tennessee's 1 and 4. The Jets, the Saints, the Jags, the Raiders, and the Giants are all 2 and 5. Miami's 2 and 4. So, some of those teams will separate, and of course, strength of schedule and stuff will come into play, and all the tiebreakers down the road. Right. So you mean to tell me you don't expect the Jets to run the table and be picking somewhere, like down in the 20s after ripping off some playoff wins?
This is the week that it's got to happen, right? Like they got to start turning it around. If they can, I mean, they got a
if
good
they don't beat
team.
New England this week, I promise I'm not watching another game for the rest of the season. So
you're lying right now.
I am lying. That's a
You're
lie.
lying.
I'll hate watch every single one of them. Yes, I will be there.
So, all right, the Patriots, they have their quarterback.
Yeah,
the Panthers
good.
The Panthers they're screwed. Like they'll pick a quarterback there. The Browns, they are also screwed, and they owe a lot of money. But I think they might be able to get out of that now with this injury.
Yeah.
But they still owe a lot of people a lot of money. Like they are been reckless with pushing the cap back recently. But they'll need a quarterback. The Titans will need a quarterback. You could argue the Jets will need a quarterback. The Saints, they will kind of need a quarterback, but I think Carr has a couple more years on that contract, like of big money.
Yeah.
The Jags don't need a quarterback. Raiders need a quarterback. The Giants need a quarterback. I mean, there's not that many good quarterbacks coming out of this draft, man. What do you think?
No, and like you said, you can make the argument for a lot of teams that need one. And we've been saying we're currently in the middle of the thing that happens almost every year, right? Where it's like before college football season started, we were like, it's not a great quarterback class. And then some guys separate and start to rise. And it's like, it's an okay quarterback class. Like there's some guys. And the truth is, I think most of the quarterbacks coming out this year, I've said this before, but I think most of the quarterbacks coming out this year, I watch them and I'm like, oh, he'd be a really good day 2 quarterback. But that's not a real thing anymore.
Yeah.
Like if a quarterback like Jalen Milroe from Alabama is a day 2 quarterback, traits for days, is maddening to watch sometimes, but can do some nice things, but isn't ready to play quarterback at the NFL level. Like he's not. But a guy that, if somebody took him in round 2 or round 3, you'd be like, all right, I get it. Try and develop what's there. But that doesn't happen anymore. It's like, guys,
not, yeah.
You either like the guy and take him in round 1, or he goes on day 3. Like, it's strange, but I don't know. Like right now, if I had to guess, I would guess Cam Ward is QB1.
Yeah.
So, maybe if it's stuck like this, Cam Ward goes to the Panthers, and then what? Like who's QB2? The Carson Beck hype has cooled. I was never a huge believer in him going early round 1. Shador Sanders,
yeah.
another one. Like he's got some things to like, but I think he's pretty wildly overrated. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking him in the top 10. We're Quinn Ewers guys.
Big Quinn guys.
I don't really expect Quinn to go in the top 10. I mean, crazier things have happened, I guess, but I wouldn't bet on it right now. So I don't know if that means that the surplus of quarterback needy teams or potentially quarterback needy teams almost manufactures a day 2 quarterback market that hasn't really existed, right? Like if there's X amount of teams in the top 10 or top 15 that need a guy, or you can make an argument for needing a guy, but they're all kind of thinking, oh, we like him, but we don't want to take him here, and we don't really expect other teams to take him here. Does that lead to like a run in round 2 that we haven't seen in a while? Like, I don't really know.
Yeah, I think a lot of these teams are desperate for quarterbacks, so I think there will be. It wouldn't shock me if 5 quarterbacks went in the top 10. Like, just if this order stayed the same,
Yeah.
Because I mean, you could even argue like the Rams will need a quarterback, but they might seem like the team that'll go after a late round quarterback. Who else on here might need a quarterback? Does Denver need a quarterback? They might be in the market. Pittsburgh, maybe. Is Russ cooking?
If he can play the Jets every week, chuck up crazy 50-50 balls to Pickens.
But I mean, I don't know. I just pulled up a mock draft, and there's the LSU quarterback, Milroe, Shador. I mean, Cam Ward, Quinn, all in the top 10. So,
look, I will be here to hype it if Quinn goes top 10.
Yeah,
we never abandoned Quinn hype, and we're not going to start now. But if the order stays as is, and the Pats pick number 1, obviously not taking a quarterback,
right?
Would it be like the most obvious try and trade out ever?
Yeah, but I could also see them doing like something like going after Travis Hunter or something like that.
Okay, I was just going to say, if they don't trade out, would you take the best tackle available or Travis Hunter?
I mean, they need both. What does Hunter play? If he's playing wide receiver? I guess so, but I like Christian Gonzalez. He's a legit cornerback. I would go after offensive line there. Don't get cute. You have the quarterback, but they also need receivers so bad. Like I should say they need a receiver. So maybe I'd go after a receiver in free agency and just get the best offensive lineman you can get. Doesn't matter what position he plays on the line. They need them all.
I wonder if if the Pats were picking number 1 and wanted a receiver, can you, not saying get cute, but can you manage to move back a few spots? Say somebody loves Cam Ward, right? And wants to come up and take Cam Ward 101. Can you go back a few spots, even if that means missing out on Travis Hunter, and still land McMillan or, Luther Burden or something like that? Because I'll be honest, if Travis Hunter says, not like slighting Travis Hunter, the wide receiver, like he's a unique player, but I still think the path to him being the most successful NFL player is he's a corner. That, maybe you have some sub packages for him where he plays wide receiver. I don't think the play 2-way thing, plays at the NFL level.
No. He could have like a little piece of the playbook. Maybe play third downs and stuff like that. But
yeah, but you're not playing them all the snaps on both sides of the ball like they do at Colorado. So I don't know. Like McMillan in New England with Drake May would be something. That would cook a little bit. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up actually sticking in the top 10, because right now most of these teams feel pretty bad. Like the Dolphins can rip off some wins late with Tua coming back. The Jags feel like they should be better, but they just underperform.
Always. Yeah.
I'd love to tell you that the Jets are going to go on a run, but I have no reason to actually believe that other than blind fandom at this point. So I don't know if the Jets will be picking top 5, but it certainly won't shock me if they're picking top 10 and it's somebody else sending in the card.
Real quick, why don't we touch on like some of these non-quarterback needy teams? Like, what do the Jaguars do? Do they just go best player available? Like,
they're a team that I feel like is not like an easy pick, but I could see them taking one of the top tackles.
Yeah,
like their O-line's not great, and like you're committed to Lawrence whether you think he's underperforming or not. The fact of the matter is they'll blame Doug Peterson way before they blame Trevor Lawrence at this point.
Oh, so Doug is gone.
Yeah, Doug's cooked. They feel like a tackle landing spot to me.
Yeah.
Like, keep building the O-line, put somebody in front of Trevor. I mean, you've got a stud wide receiver now, Brian Thomas Jr. Tank is doing good in the absence of ETN. So you've got pieces there. But I would shore up the O-line if I was them.
Same. Do you want to move on? Anything else you want to touch on here?
No, I think that's a nice little wet the beak of the NFL draft.
Yeah, it's hard to really dig in because guys are going to separate.
October.
Yeah, I was just like opening up a bunch of mocks, and I just got really triggered because I saw a draft with the Giants getting Ashton Jeanty, and if they drafted a running back like top 10, I would probably lose it. Even though he's a great player, it's just like, what are you gonna do? Give Daniel Jones like $40 million? I do think
he will be a top 10 player.
Sure, and maybe somebody trades up for him, or maybe somebody like the Jaguars. I mean, that would kind of be weird if I don't know, but he's talented enough. But
yeah, for sure,
a team like the Giants have to.
No, they can't.
Yeah,
they cannot. They cannot.
Yeah.
Not when you have certified backfield leader Tyrone Tracy there.
Very true.
All right, let's get into a couple of the big games for this week. Start with the Cowboys versus 49ers. Niners, man, bit by the bug bad. They lose Brandon Ayuk for the season now. Is Debo still sick?
He just got out of the hospital, but he had a pneumonia. Like, that could be lung damage. That could be at least a week or two. Yeah, man, this is a weird game. It opened up with the Niners plus 5.5. It's down to 4.5 now. So the Cowboys are getting a little love. I mean, this has got to be about the Cowboys defense to me. If they can get to Brock, who's he throwing to? Ricky Pearsall and is Jawan Jennings. I think he's slated to be back. I don't think CMC is going to be back this week. I still, if I'm looking at my pure numbers, I still think the Niners win this game, but I think it's closer. I score this right now as 26-22 Niners, but I don't know how to really key in for the Niners injuries, because even I think Kittle got hurt.
Yeah, they are banged up, man. They really are. And I like Brock, but Brock's a different kind of guy when he doesn't have. I don't like to do the whole like Brock's just a product of the weapons around him kind of thing.
Right.
But man, when you're missing that many, it's tough.
It's real tough, man. And Dallas has. I was looking at their rushing numbers on defense. All right, they're bottom 5, bottom 8, whatever. They're giving them 143. So if that's going to be how the Niners win this game, right? They're going to have to control the clock.
Yeah.
Grind it out and just run all over the Cowboys, which is possible. But I don't know. What do you got any leans here? I gave you mine. What do you think?
I think I would lean similar that I think the Niners win. But that's, I think, mostly because I'm going to defer to Shanahan being a better coach
100%.
than McCarthy. I think that counts for something. And I think if somebody's good enough to scheme up like next man up, he's the guy. Like, we're talking regular season Kyle Shanahan, so not worried about like what happens in the postseason or anything like that. I think in these situations, he's one of few guys that like that coaching advantage really matters. I think if the Niners were healthy, the Niners beat up on them.
Yeah. Well, the other thing here is Cowboys are coming off the bye. So
yeah,
it could work in the Niners' favor that they've been game planning all week for, IU,
true.
Debo.
Yeah.
And then they just come out with this totally different game plan. You never know. I'll give Shanahan the benefit of the doubt. I'm never betting on him in a Super Bowl or a big game, but
yeah,
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt to cook something up.
It makes me wonder, like you said, if if they really want to try and control the clock and dominate time of possession, like of course Jordan Mason, but like do we get a little more Isaac Garendo than in this game? So I don't know. I do wonder if they just come out and they're like, we're just gonna run it right at you until you prove that we can't. Yeah,
screen. Yeah.
So be interesting though to see if Ricky Pearsall can make a kind of sizable impact.
Yeah, he didn't do much last week, but I mean, his first game back, he just got shot.
Yeah. All right, let's hit Falcons versus Bucks. More injuries. It feels like all year. Mike Evans is going to miss a few with the hamstring. Chris Godwin out for the rest of the year.
That was awful injury. Yeah.
Terrible. Dislocated ankle. Ugh. Feel for Chris Godwin, man. He was lighting it up in a contract year. Stinks to see him get hurt again.
Yeah, man.
What do you think about this one? I mean, Falcons run game's been coming along.
Yeah.
Bucks defense hasn't, been electric or shut down or anything like that. Can Tampa stop Bijan?
Can Tampa stop Bijan? I don't think so. I don't think I've been saying that I think Bijan's going to have a great game, and it really hasn't happened. Like he hasn't really came on it yet this year. I don't know, man. This game opened up -1.5 for the Falcons. It's gone out to an expensive 2.5, so it's looking like it's going to hit 3 soon. The Bucs are just decimated with injuries, and they played yesterday on Monday night, so the slight rest advantage to the Falcons. I think actually the Falcons played Thursday, right? Last week?
Yeah.
They played the Saints, right? Yeah. So this is a game. I think this is another one of those games that 2 weeks ago we were talking about where the over hits like 70% of the time when a team's coming off Monday Night Football and the other team's coming off Thursday Night Football. So that's something to look at. I just think that, this could be like a narrative game, where people are going to say, oh, the Bucs are going to come out hard, but like they don't really have much now in the receiving threat.
Yeah. It does make me wonder if, with no Evans and no Godwin, is there a world where we see Rachaad White played a little more as like a traditional receiver?
Yeah.
Like even if it's out in the slot and you rotate Tucker and Bucky, Sean Tucker and Bucky Irving in the backfield and more of like a traditional running back role. I don't like, I love Baker, so I don't love having to pick against him, but I think it'll be a tough out. The Falcons have a good thing going right now, I think. Kirk's playing pretty decent ball. He's hooking up with Drake London on the regular. They've got enough weapons there to spread it around, and I think they'll have a tough time slowing down Bijan. So I do like the Falcons in this one.
This game will be huge for the division. If the Falcons could pull it off, they'll be 5-3 and 4-0 in the division. With the tiebreaker, obviously, against the Bucs. I think that'll be enough, unless they fully collapse, to be in the driver's seat for that division.
All right, let's hit your picks for the week. What do you got? You got a couple games that you're picking for us. What's the first one?
Yeah, so I've got 2 games this week. My first pick is the Vikings against the Rams. The Rams, I don't believe in the Rams, man. And I didn't want to believe in the Vikings early on, and I just feel like this number is, I don't believe in trap games. -3. In what world right now are the Vikings, 3 points, not 3 points better than the Rams? I mean, I know the Rams are home, but LA isn't, there's no home field there. That LA is like a Fugazi place. The only thing I could think of that would make me, question this or that Stafford could be really good against the blitz. But I don't think Puka's. I know Puka's not coming back this week.
Yeah.
Cooper Cup is. That, I mean, that could be the deciding factor. I don't know, man. Where are my power rankings here? My numbers. I have this game 27-18 Vikings. So for me, that was like an automatic play when the numbers are that far off.
Yeah.
I almost just have to play that just regardless based off my math. What are you thinking here? Any kind of matchups you're looking forward to?
I am shocked it's not, a bigger line.
Yeah.
-3 feels kind of strange for a team that's been as good as the Vikings have thus far. The Vikings, man, they're just loaded up with weapons, and I know that I just don't think that the Rams defense can stop them all.
No.
So, like, Justin Jefferson doesn't really need any, introduction or
Nope.
why he's great. But between him, Addison, Aaron Jones, like, has been great for them this year. And like you said, still no Puka. Even if Kupp comes back, the Vikings defense is legit, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I like Vikings -3 in that one as well. And the second game you've got, Packers versus Jaguars. What do you like?
I like the Packers a lot in this game. This is another game where I looked at the line and I was like, is there something wrong here?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Jaguars just beat the Patriots in London. But that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The Packers have been consistent. They were good even with their backup quarterback.
Yeah.
I think they'll cover the spread pretty easily. The Jags have struggled. They're going to be coming back. They've been in London for 2 weeks, and I think Green Bay's defense has kind of turned it on a little bit. I think they'll be able to contain them. Just wanted to pull up the numbers here. 4.5 is that was like an auto play for me. The total has climbed. It opened up at 46, and now it's covering close to 50. This game I had, let me see. Yeah, I have this one 27-21 Packers. I don't know, man. I feel like this is like one of those, again, like I'm sure the Sharps are probably taking the Jaguars as like some kind of trap. I don't know. This line makes no sense to me, and I jumped on it right away.
Yeah, I really think the Jags are gonna. I think the travel thing makes a big deal. Like you said, they've been in London a couple of weeks. I agree. I don't really care too much that they beat the Pats in London. I think this is going to be like a little bit of a come to Jesus for them. Like, I think the Packers are a substantially better team. Again, I'm with you. I was shocked it wasn't a bigger spread than the -4.5.
Yeah, and like it's a home game for the Jaguars, but it's a shorter flight from Green Bay to Jacksonville than it is from London to Jacksonville. So it's like the Packers have the rest advantage in terms of travel. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, it's a bad spot. I know some people might be saying it could be a letdown game for the Packers because they had that great game against the Lions. Did they play the Lions last week? Who am I thinking of? Sorry.
No, they played I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on who it was.
Yeah,
Vikings
no.
played the Lions, right?
The Texans, sorry. The
Texans, yeah.
Vikings and the Lions, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, could be a letdown game because they played that awesome game against Houston. But I don't know, man. I like the Packers. I think they're one of the better teams in the league right now, and I like everything they're doing. Their defense has been a little suspect, but it's getting better. Definitely rolling with the Packers -4.5 there.
All right, there you have it. Vikings -3 against the Rams. Packers -4.5 against the Jaguars. Lock them in. If you're tailing Pete, go ahead and get them in.
Nice.
All right. That is going to do it for us this week. We appreciate everybody for watching on YouTube, for listening on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you for tuning in. Again, like we said at the beginning, if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below. Let us know if you're tailing Pete's picks or if you have picks of your own that you want to put, or if you're a fellow Jets or Giants fan and just need to, commiserate about currently being in the top 10 of the NFL draft as it stands right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on YouTube so you don't miss any future episodes. And we will be back next week.
Keep the drive alive. Don't forget to like and subscribe.